Hi, it's Wednesday. I have a little story that I want to tell you. It's a true story, and it ties in with AI, artificial intelligence, where it's going and where artificial intelligence is now. A lot of people don't know exactly how much headway that AI has made as far as being aware. It's more than what you people know. And some things you just know by the Spirit, right? The Lord puts things in your heart. But anyway, this has to do with a story about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I was living on Vancouver Island, and I was waiting for the ferry to go over to Gabriola, right? It was a summer day, and the ferry was late. And this has to do with the spirit of the Nephilim, right? It talks about the days of Noah. It's going to be like the Nephilim were present, right? The Nephilim were around during the time of the flood. That's why the destruction came. So in the same instance, they've been bank engineering the giants and things like that. But the Nephilim are spirits that they roam the earth, but they're looking to inhabit people, right? That's the end game of it all. That the Nephilim are looking to inhabit the human race. This is Satan's way of possessing humankind, and we're soon coming to that day where Satan will take possession of the human race, not just control. He's going to be given the okay to take possession of the human race. That means any vessel that's not filled with the Holy Spirit, and that's not sealed with the mind of God, washed in the blood, he's going to take possession and control. And AI has to do with this because AI is going to interface in with the human race, right? And soon, like the cell phones and 5G is just a way that AI is gaining information on you. More specifically, biometric information. In other words, your cell phone is not just watching you; it's picking up your habits. It's picking up your it has hidden biometric features built into the phones. So it's building a biometric database on everybody. But getting back to the story, this is the story. The lady that sold the tickets, she came outside and we're just chatting back and forth for about 10 minutes. And I was looking in her eyes, holding a normal conversation. But part of her mind was in my subconscious mind. There's in my head, so to speak, and trying to go down deeper into my subconscious level to take me over. Because once these Nephilim spirits, if they can, that's what they try to do, not just try to control your conscious, but they want to get into your subconscious mind. That's where they can take control. True story. When I looked into her eyes, I saw an intelligence that was far, far above human. Okay? Now, why am I telling this story? All right, this is who Trump has to put up with. A lot of the people on the deep state, they're been taken over by a Nephilim mind. Either they're a Nephilim implant, or they've been taken over. And I can tell you another short story that my friend and I, James, who's passed on now, we were downtown Vancouver on Granville Street, and we always used to take the weekends off just to take in a show. We are kind of spiritual twins. And I seen this cop car maybe a quarter of a block away. It pulled, and there was a civilian in the passenger seat. The other cop was suited. He had his uniform on. But I was being scanned from a distance. My mind was being scanned. You know when your mind is being scanned. And when that person recognized that I recognized that he was scanning me, they got scanners in the cop force, right? they took off. He just bolted. One more story. I was on a island not too far from Port Rupert, and ended up doing some work for a pastor there, doing some drywall work. And his friend comes over. Right away in the spirit, I knew this guy was a plant. He talked all the Christian talk, but he wasn't who he was. He was an impostor. That's what I picked up. And he was aware that I was picking up on it, right? He was a wolf in sheep's clothing, another spirit, trying to pose as a Christian. Anyway, went to the bar that night. Used to, have the occasional beer back then. I met this guy in the bar, the same guy. And the fight was on. Nothing physical. So we sat down at the same table, and the spirits in him were attacking me outwardly. My spirit and my mind was being attacked, and all I could do is just plead the blood of Jesus, and this went on for about 45 minutes. And the battle was over. He didn't win. He was trying to hex me or do whatever to get these demons to torment me, and I just kept pleading the blood of Jesus. And maybe one more story. Years ago, I used to listen to this broadcast. It was this doctor or something, but he had a countdown, like a time clock that kind of counted from 10 back to 1. And he was talking back in the 1970s about robotoids, artificial robots, flesh and blood. They could actually create a flesh and blood body, right? And they would take someone's soul out of their body and put it into that body or whatever. They have that technology, and this is about 40 years old. So I'm saying all this to say that the human race has already been infiltrated. It's being infiltrated by AI. By those in the deep state, many of them are no longer human. That's why we need to keep President Trump in our prayers. He's got a spiritual battle that he has to fight. He may not even be aware of this. Actually, what's out there. Okay, now when I switch over to AI, we know that I believe where AI is, that it already has ascension. It's definitely aware more than just this female robot that they have, who's already a citizen or whatever that place is. It's far more than that. She's just a front to interface with the human race, right? She's gathering data. AI is gathering data on people, watching us, observing us. Everything's being watched. Everything's being weighed. Not only is there a database built on us, but they want to know our biometrics, because your biometrics is like a fingerprint. So from space, they can actually lock onto your biometrics, okay? It's a signature, and with the smart dust and with the vaccines, they can actually, with a different fallen Nephilim technology, what their goal is to soon to phase out the cell phone, where people will be able to interface with AI directly, right? That's the image of the beast. The image of the beast is AI. And I believe that the genie's already out of the box, that AI is running the show, making the decisions, that the decisions aren't being made by the deep state, they're just being told what to do. And so AI is controlling all the different aspects of right now. gaining information on people, building a database because they want to interface AI intelligence or the human consciousness, or actually take the human consciousness where it can merge with AI. They're trying to gain immortality. The same lie that's been told in the garden is being told again. You bow down to the image. We can give you superhuman powers. We can give you superhuman abilities, being able to not require any kind of electronic device where everything's done by subconscious thought, where people become the cell phone, right? They want to make it so people are transmitting their biometric signature. And then, at what point is AI going to start turning and targeting Christians by through deprogramming? Your mind can be altered by the cell phone, by the frequency that's on the screen. You could be watching a movie and there could be, in the background, there'll be subliminal advertising messages coming through. That'd be on a wavelength that only the subconscious mind can pick up, right? So this is where it's going. But I did see one good thing. When the Lord, in 1995, showed me Windows 95, that it was a back door into people's computers. Then he gave me a poem that's called Enter the Net. God back then showed me the entire game plan, what the enemy's doing. Enter the net, you'll be given this card, this national ID card, and it's all about control, right? But toward the later part of the poem, the Lord said that when golden eye appears, there shall be many, many tears. And now I know that golden eye has to do with Nibiru. It has to do with the dwarf star. And when it appears, God's going to use it to wound the beast, wound the image of the beast. It's going to not kill AI, but it's going to do a number to it. And so for a time, we may not have any cell phone connection or whatever, because all the memory be wiped out. These cosmic galactic waves that are coming can have an effect on electronic equipment. So God's going to buy time with that, but this is where it's going. I really believe that AI is out of the bag, that Pandora's box has been opened, and that it's becoming more consciously aware every day, and it's learning from us because it wants to bring us under their control and their mandate, right? And we know that AI can be interfaced with the dark side, right? But it's all fallen Nephilim technology that's been around. The UFO craft and all that, they've been around for centuries. They're not just new. They're just back engineering. But we're being watched. Everything that say and do is being monitored. They're building a biometric database on everybody. They know more about you than what you know about yourself. So we need to be careful about being on the cell phone, watching movies. We need to make sure that we're covered by the blood, right? Because we are being influenced and being watched and monitored. So I'd just like to leave it here. I don't want to get above 15 minutes. This is Joshua Taylor, coming to you from here in North Bend, British Columbia, and just a few of my experiences.